I'm Kevin Jacobsen of Gold Derby here with Yvette Nicole Brown, who I'm so pleased to say is now Emmy nominee Yvette Nicole Brown. She was nominated this year for a guest appearance on a Black Lady sketch show. Yvette, can you describe what that nomination day was like of getting that recognition from your peers?
You know, it's funny. I always thought that there were two lanes for actors. I thought there were the award winning and nominated actors, and then the people that were just happy to have a job. And I was like happily coasting down that just happy to have a job lane and never really thought that any nominations or awards would come my way. So this was an amazing shock. I was in Ireland. I just finished shooting Disenchanted for Disney, and I was in a department store dressing room with Maya Rudolph and our friend Joe, and we were trying on just dresses just randomly, and my phone pings and it's Robin Thede, and all she put was three letters, OMG. And I'm like, is she okay? Did something happen to Robin? And then I open up the text and she's like, you got nominated. And my entire world just changed from that moment on. I'm still pinching myself, still.
Yeah. Well, I also want to mention, I mean, your category, the nominees are just pound for pound some of the best actors working
Yes.
today. Maya Rudolph as well.
Yes.
I know Kristen Wiig, Bernadette
Yep.
Peters,
Hmm.
Jane
Issa Rae.
Addams,
Issa
Issa
Rae.
Rae.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does it mean to be in that kind of company?
Listen, when they say it's an honor just to be nominated, it was really said 50,000 years ago for me because I literally, I'm in there with Bernadette Peters. I don't even know how do you hope to win when you're in a category with Maya and Kristen and Jane and Issa and Bernadette Peters? You really don't even think about winning. You think about what a freaking honor it is to even be thought of as being worthy of being in a category with those amazing women. And that's where I'm going to live. I'm going to live in the thank you for thinking of me lane.
I love that. It's a good attitude.
Yeah.
But let's just go back to the first season where you first appeared in the Black Lady Courtroom sketch
Yes.
as Judge Harper.
Yes.
What was it that made you just agree to that role in this show in the beginning?
You know, when I first heard that Issa and Robin were creating this opportunity for Black actors to come and be silly and have fun, I decided that if I was blessed to get a call, whatever they asked me to do, it would be a yes. So I wasn't at home going, well, I hope that whatever they send me. No, Yvette, we want you to come and play a popsicle in the corner melting. I'm there. Like it really didn't matter. The fact that it was such a powerful, funny, um, real to life sketch, because that is actually how Black women feel when we find ourselves in a professional setting and we see ourselves reflected back to us. It is a moment like, well, look at us. And so it was a very real moment that was very funny. So I'm really honored that I got to be Judge Harper twice now. Like that's insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, with this season, it had to be also filmed in the pandemic.
Yes.
How much did that impact the process on your end?
You know, it didn't listen, I am a hypochondriac anyway, so long before COVID, I was like on planes and masks and washing my hands and stuff. So not a lot changed for me, um, except for I got to see just how vigilant Robin Thede is about in when it comes to keeping people safe. Like her set was one of the safest sets I went on. We got tested the moment you step out of your car, somebody's there like, can I have your nostril, please? Like before you even go get a sandwich at craft services or go look at your trailer, you were tested on that set. I felt completely protected the entire time, which kind of makes being funny and free in a scene easier when you know that you're not, your life's not in danger. So that's a testament to Robin and to HBO for the way that they took care of their actors.
Yeah. Well, kind of like you were saying, what's really kind of lovely about these sketches, the Black Lady Courtroom sketches, is just how
Mhm.
much joy there is
Yeah.
in it. Like, it's not necessarily poking fun at people, it's
Mm-mm.
not mean spirited, it's just
Mhm.
all joy. And it's also,
Yeah.
it's like almost profound to watch that kind of
Yeah.
joy. And I'm wondering how much of that actually does translate to your own experience on that set.
Oh, that sketch is the best representation of what it's like to work on a Black Lady sketch show. Like from the moment you walk in, someone's like, "Hey girl, I see your hair. Love that dress." Like it's literally just a warm hug the entire time. And those of us that get to work on the show along with the great actors, I want to shout them out, Lacey and Sky and Gabrielle and Issa and Ashley and Quinta the first season and Robin, of course, and Lauren Ashley Smith, the amazing head writer. They all celebrate each other and they celebrate you as you come. There's a video I posted on my Instagram page of how you're wrapped out. When you work on a Black Lady sketch show, when they call out your name, we dance, we sing, we clap for each other, and it's a celebratory experience. Working there is a celebration of all that we are and all that we can be, and you know the entire time that you're safe. And that's why it means so much that, I've been in the industry 20 some plus years. The idea that the first time I get nominated for an Emmy, it's because of a show created by a Black woman for Black women to shine. Like, come on. Like, there couldn't be a better place for me to get my first nomination. I'm so honored.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's always fun at the end of every episode is watching the outtakes and the bloopers, and you
Yes.
have you have a few great kind of alternate lines
Yes.
after Laz Alonso says like, "Forgive me, Your Honor," and you're just like, "Why? Are you the
Why?
one that hired the second Aunt Viv?" So
they
great.
give they give you those on the fly, so you have your script and you do what you do, and if you want to ad lib, they have space for you to do that, but then they just throw, Yvette, say this, Yvette, say this. And so a couple of times, if you look closely, I'm about to laugh or just finish laughing before I'm like, come on, Yvette, get it together. So I try to get myself together enough to just get the line out. And fun fact, I, unlike Issa Rae, care about breaking in a scene.
Mm.
Issa breaks all the time and just rides the wave of the hilarity. So I just like to say that I am very conscientious about my laughs and I try to keep it together, but it's very hard on that set.
Yeah. But I imagine even with a sketch like this, there's so much joy to begin with that it's kind
Yes.
of like in keeping that you might be,
Yeah,
secretly
having a good
smiling,
time. Yeah. And
right?
and also I think the best ad libs that you'll see is the physical ad libs that come at the end when we're just dancing to the Black Lady Courtroom. Please watch Gabrielle Dennis. Whenever you get a
Yeah.
chance, she plays the bailiff. Just train your eye. It's a lot happening, but just look at Gabrielle Dennis. I promise you, she's doing something that will crack you up. And
Yeah.
all of us are like that, but Gabrielle is a wonder. She's a wonder with what she can do physically with her body. It's amazing.
I mean, even for yourself, just like banging the gavel along the beat is always a joy.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Yes. But I also wanted to talk about this. You have a main role on the show Big Shot
Yes.
on Disney Plus, working with John
Yes.
Stamos.
Yes.
What's your experience been working on a show like that, a David E. Kelly show at that?
My goal every day that I went to work was to honor Mr. Kelly and also Dean Laurie, our amazing head writer and showrunner. The words that they give Sherilyn to say, there's a musicality to them, as every David E. Kelly show has that musical dialogue, and Dean writes like that as well. And so I would be at home like, just get the music right, like just make sure, because once the train leaves the station with that chunk of dialogue, you either ride it or you're going to go off the rails. And so my goal is always just to honor what I've been given. And then I got to look across the desk at freaking John Stamos, who's very attractive. So it's hard to just like be mad at him and be tough with him, because he's also like one of the kindest, sweetest goofballs on the planet. So that show has been a labor of love. We love that Disney Plus gave us the chance to do it. And, Jesselyn Gilsig is on there, Richard Robichaud, and all the wonderful young actresses that we worked with. It was really fun. And listen, 3 calendar years spent doing Big Shot, those 10 episodes, because of COVID. We kept the world got shut down, and then we had to take a break a few times. So it was truly a labor of love shot in the middle of a pandemic.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with a show like Big Shot and other parts or offers that come your way, do you have certain things at this point in your career that you just look for and automatically know, like, yes, I want to be a part of this project?
You know what the first thing I do, and I don't know if other actors do this, but I Google everybody's name and
Hmm.
the word jerk or diva after it. And if the doggone Google populates, I tell my agent this may not be the right place for me. I'm at an age and a space in my career where I want to work with nice people, and I want to have a good time, and I want everybody to be loving and kind. And so that's the first thing I do. After, everybody passes the I'm a nice person test, then it's like, is this a character I think that I can do something interesting with? Is there a twinkle in her eye, even if she's a villain or tough as nails? Is there something about her that's kind of lovable? Because I'm pretty delightful, and I'm not a good enough actress to hide how delightful I am. So I have to make sure there's a space for the delightfulness to seep out. So those
There
are
you
the
go.
things that I choose. And then, you just hope for the best. And I'm just always grateful to work. So grateful to work. You have no
Mhm.
idea.
Yeah. Well, you've been in the business since the early 2000s. You've been in
Yeah.
big parts, small parts.
Hmm.
I'm really curious from your viewpoint how you think TV has changed since those early years for you, but then also just in general, what kind of trends you've noticed.
Well, listen, there's a lot more opportunities for people that look like me. When I started out, there was only one other person, I believe, in commercials anyway, that had natural hair, and that was Diane Amos, who was doing the Pine Sol ad. So when I started doing commercials and my hair was natural and wild, I was like, I don't know if they're gonna find space for me. And they did. And everything that I have brought and other Black women have brought and people of color have brought through the years, it's like the industry is just expanding to create space for us. Ava DuVernay with her Array company is finding ways to put more people of color behind the scenes. And I think that when more of us are in the decision making space, you will see even more of us directing and producing and writing. And I think that's the thing that's changing the most now. I also think that there's an opportunity for joy to come back to entertainment. For a while, a lot of TV shows were very dark and hateful and mean spirited. And I love that we have shows like Ted Lasso and like Big Shot now, where there's a space for people to see the softer side of life and to encourage people to love a little more. I think what we've been through in this country and what we're dealing with still with this pandemic, you kind of want to turn on entertainment and feel as if it's a respite. If I want to see horror, I can look out the window. I want to see something good and life affirming. And I always endeavor to be a part of roles like that in some way. And that's what Black Lady Sketch Show is. That's what Courtroom Kiki is. And that's what everything that I'm a part of. I try to make sure that there's something that gives people a little hope for the future.
Yeah, well, that's I was going to ask, since you are a big TV fan.
I am.
I've certainly seen you post a lot about Ted Lasso.
Whew.
Um, I, I'm wondering if you had the ability to give yourself a role on a show. Is it a Ted Lasso? Is it something else? Like, what are you
Mm.
really feeling inspired? Like, hey, I could do that.
I've been watching the new episodes of Ted Lasso, and there's a Black woman on there, and I said, "No, ain't nobody call me." And I could have. And she's wonderful. Let me be very clear.
Yeah.
She's doing an amazing job. It's not that I want the job because she's not doing it well. I'm just greedy and would love to work on the Ted Lasso set. So it probably would be a show like Ted Lasso. But I also love sitcoms. Like I would love to be on The Neighborhood. I would love to be on any multicam sitcom. I did a guest star on Call Me Kat with the amazing Mayim Bialik last season, and just had the best time because there's a bit of silliness that you can bring to a multicam sitcom that you have to kind of dial down for a single cam. And I'm a bit of a clown, so I kind of love that experience. So yeah, I would say a role on a multicam sitcom would be a dream for me.
Shoot your shot.
Shoot
Very
your
good.
shot.
Yeah. Well, I would also be remiss if I didn't devote a little bit of time here to your work on Community.
Let's
And
do it.
yeah, well, something I wanted to actually talk about is that this cast, you included,
Mhm.
you've all most of you have really gone on to do some great things in the
Mhm.
industry. You're
Thank
here
you.
Emmy nominated, you're killing it on a Disney Plus show.
Thank you, Kevin.
Donald Glover is
Mm.
Donald Glover.
Donald
He's this
Glover, right?
multimedia artist.
Right.
Danny Pudi he's on Mythic Quest now.
Yep.
Joel McHale, Ken Jeong, Gillian
Yep.
Jacobs is in these new Fear Street films. Like
Yep.
Alison Brie had Glow, and she's a
Yep.
promising young woman. I mean,
Yep.
the list goes on and on. So, I feel like you've all had this continued success in the industry. And I'm wondering for you what it's been like to watch all of that success happen over the past, decade or so.
It's funny. There's nothing that those amazing, wonderful people are doing that I did not see germinating in at that table. I tell people all the time, like Donald became Childish Gambino at that table. We all had the Wu-Tang creator and we all picked our names, and Childish Gambino was a name that came through the Wu-Tang creator for him. He would take breaks and go and write songs, and he was doing his stand-up special from that table. Like there's so much that we're doing now that we talked about and dreamed about, 12 years ago, however long it was, at that table. So um, I am not surprised at all that they're all superstars and everywhere. I could not be more proud of them. I couldn't be more proud to be associated with them because aside from them being talented, amazing people in a thousand different genres, they're also really good people and really funny people. And our group chat is ridiculous, like
Sure.
just foolishness. And we don't care what time we're tweeting. If somebody sees a funny meme at 3 a.m., y'all gonna get it at 3 a.m. And everybody, when they wake up, will chime in and have their bits and their take on it. And it's really been a wonderful gift that show has been in my life, and those people are a huge part of it.
Beautiful. And just one last thing before I
Sure.
let you go. You mentioned earlier filming Disenchanted, which
Mhm.
personally I've been looking forward to this for a long
You're
time.
gonna love it, Kevin. You're gonna
This is
love
a
it.
long time coming. Good. Okay. Good promise. Is
Yes.
there anything that you can tease or even just talk about the experience of what people
Well,
can
listen,
expect?
Ireland was healing. I know that it's in the ether. I lost my mom while I was over there, and
Hmm.
I can't. I could not have picked, if I could not have been home with my brother, I could not pick a more beautiful place to mourn. I know that sounds weird, but Ireland just gets loss and mourning in a way that I don't think we could learn from them. And I speak about this in interviews because I want to normalize grief. I want to normalize the idea that sometimes it's your season of loss and you're going to lose something important that matters to you. How do you handle it? How do you manage it? How do you show up in life on the other side of it? And it's okay if you're a little, if you're struggling. And so I like to talk about it for that reason. um Ireland and Disenchanted and Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey and Adina and James and Maya and Jama, it was all a fairy tale. That is the best way I can describe it. The what Disney did with the locations and the way Adam Shankman directs and all the music, it was healing. And I think that anyone that loves the original Enchanted is going to be enchanted by Disenchanted. How about
I love it. Wow. Very
that?
good.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
For those of you watching, subscribe for more interviews and head to goldderby.com to make your Emmy predictions. Yvette, such a pleasure getting to talk
Kevin,
to you
thank you
today.
so much for having me. Thank you.